Most dog owners notice the change almost immediately. One day, their dog is relaxed and independent, and the next day, the dog suddenly starts following them from room to room like a shadow. You stand up, and the dog stands up too. You walk into another room, and seconds later, the dog quietly appears behind you again. At first, it feels cute, loyal, affectionate, maybe even funny. But after a while, many owners start wondering why the behavior suddenly became so intense. The strange part is that many of these dogs were never clingy before. They used to relax alone comfortably, yet now they seem emotionally attached to every movement their owner makes. That sudden change catches people off guard because it feels so personal. The dog suddenly seems deeply focused on where you are, what you are doing, and whether you might leave again. In many cases, the behavior is not random at all. Dogs are constantly observing routines, emotional energy, habits, and environmental changes around the people they trust most. Even small shifts inside the home can affect them far more than owners realize. A new work schedule, emotional stress, changes in routine, or spending more time together can completely change how the dog behaves. Dogs are naturally social animals. Staying close to the people they trust is deeply connected to comfort, safety, and emotional security. That instinct becomes even stronger when the dog feels uncertain, overstimulated, anxious, or emotionally dependent on a specific routine. Many owners first notice this behavior after major lifestyle changes. Working from home more often, changing schedules, moving house, or spending extra time together can all increase attachment behavior. The dog slowly becomes used to constant access to the owner. Once that new routine settles in, following behavior often becomes stronger without anybody realizing it is developing. This is one reason sudden clinginess can feel so confusing. The dog is not necessarily becoming bad or disobedient. The dog is adapting emotionally to changes in its environment. Some dogs begin following their owners simply because they learned proximity feels rewarding. Following leads to attention, interaction, comfort, walks, food, or emotional reassurance. Over time, staying close starts feeling safer and more predictable than relaxing independently. Highly intelligent or emotionally sensitive breeds often show this behavior more intensely. German Shepherds, Border Collies, Dobermans, Belgian Malinois, and many companion breeds tend to monitor their owners very closely. These dogs naturally pay attention to movement, routines, emotional tone, and changes happening around the household. Sometimes owners accidentally strengthen the behavior without realizing it. Every time the dog follows, the owner talks to them, pets them, or interacts with them emotionally. The dog slowly learns that staying close constantly creates positive outcomes. That does not mean affection is bad. Strong emotional bonds are one of the best parts of living with a dog. The problem begins when the dog struggles emotionally whenever physical distance suddenly appears. This is where owners start noticing behaviors that feel more concerning. The dog becomes restless when left alone, follows intensely from room to room, or struggles to settle without direct contact nearby. Some dogs constantly watch doors, wait outside bathrooms, or immediately wake up whenever the owner stands up. What surprises many people is how emotionally aware dogs really are. Dogs constantly study human behavior, emotional energy, routines, and subtle environmental changes around the home. If stress levels inside the household increase, many dogs begin staying closer because proximity feels emotionally safer. Dogs often notice tension long before humans realize how much emotional pressure exists inside the environment. That awareness becomes even stronger in dogs that are naturally sensitive or highly bonded to one specific person. Many owners first realize how emotionally connected their dog has become during moments of stress or uncertainty. The dog suddenly refuses to leave their side during emotionally difficult periods. The behavior can feel incredibly comforting because the dog seems emotionally present in every moment. But this is also where balance becomes important. A dog that never learns emotional independence can slowly become overwhelmed by constant attachment. Some owners accidentally encourage dependency because the clinginess feels loving at first. The dog follows everywhere, and the owner enjoys the emotional connection. Over time, however, the dog may stop feeling emotionally comfortable alone altogether. That is when separation anxiety can begin developing slowly in the background. The dog no longer follows simply because it enjoys closeness. The dog follows because distance itself starts feeling stressful. This is why emotional balance matters so much. Dogs should feel connected to their owners while still remaining confident enough to relax independently. Many balanced dogs naturally move between closeness and independence throughout the day. They check in emotionally, then comfortably settle elsewhere when nothing important is happening. Dogs that struggle emotionally often remain mentally locked onto the owner constantly. Every movement suddenly feels important. One reason this behavior becomes so intense is because dogs are extremely routine-driven animals. Once they emotionally attach to a new pattern, breaking that pattern can create confusion or insecurity very quickly. For example, a dog that suddenly spends every day beside a work-from-home owner may eventually start believing constant closeness is now the permanent routine. The moment the owner disappears again, the dog feels emotionally unsettled because the expected pattern suddenly changed. This does not mean owners should avoid spending time with their dogs. The goal is not emotional distance. The goal is emotional stability. Confident dogs usually understand that closeness and separation are both normal parts of life. That confidence often develops through calm routines, healthy boundaries, independent activities, and emotional predictability inside the home. Mental stimulation also matters more than many owners realize. Dogs that are mentally understimulated often become overly focused on their owners because there is nothing else emotionally engaging in the environment. Puzzle toys, structured walks, scent work, training games, and calm, independent activities can help reduce emotional overdependence significantly. At the same time, overstimulation can also create clinginess. Dogs that remain emotionally switched on all day sometimes struggle to settle independently because their nervous system never fully relaxes. This is why calm structure is so important. Dogs need engagement, but they also need emotional decompression and opportunities to relax without constant interaction. Many experienced owners notice something interesting over time. The healthiest dogs are usually not the dogs that constantly demand attention. They are the dogs that feel secure enough to move between connection and independence naturally. That emotional flexibility creates calmer behavior overall. The dog no longer feels pressure to monitor the owner every second of the day. In many cases, sudden clinginess is not manipulation or stubbornness at all. It is communication. The dog is responding to emotional changes, routine shifts, stress, insecurity, or simply the powerful bond it feels toward the people it trusts most. Once owners understand that, the behavior starts making much more sense. And for many people, that realization changes the way they see their dog completely. Beneath all the shadowing, waiting, and following is usually a dog that simply feels safest when the people it loves are nearby.